Hi, welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today we're going to discuss about everything you need to know about African Cup of Nations and how that's going to impact us in FPL. So if you're interested, make sure you give it a go and let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, so as I said before, today we're going to have a mini guide of AFCON and how that's going to impact us in FPL. Now you don't need to rush, you don't need to panic at the moment. There are still some gamings to go till these players are going to go to African Cup of Nations, so you still have time. But since there is an international break at the moment, I just thought that maybe this video is going to be interesting, hopefully informative and hopefully helpful for a lot of people. So we're going to have two parts. In the first part, I'll try to cover the basics, the main topics of African Cup of Nations and what that means, obviously what we're going to get. So yeah, if you don't know a lot of these things, hopefully it's going to be helpful for you. In the second part, we're going to discuss about some players and obviously about the main players who are going to go to African Cup of Nations and what should we do with them. Should we buy them at the moment? Should we sell them? When should we sell them? So yeah, let's start with the first part. Now maybe you don't know what is AFCON. So this is African Cup of Nations, the tournament, and as you may know, there are a lot of people from Africa who are playing in the Premier League. And yeah, what does that mean to us in FPL? These players are going to go to play with their national teams, so we're not going to have them in FPL. So yeah, straightforward. This is the easiest explanation I came up with. Now let's go through with the main ideas and try to discuss a little bit about them. What is changed obviously this season compared to the previous seasons? In Game Week 16, when a lot of players are going to go to African Cup of Nations, we're going to get 5 free transfers. So everyone is going to have 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. That's a rule. This is how it's going to happen. Now what we need to do at the moment obviously is to get rid of all your free transfers in Game Week 15, because guys, if you have, for an example, in Game Week 15 you have 3 free transfers and maybe you're thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to roll them and have 8 in Game Week 16. No, that's not going to happen. So the easiest explanation: everyone is going to have 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. Doesn't matter how many free transfers you have before. And again, you could burn the transfer, but probably that's not the best idea. So the main idea here is, at the moment, until Game Week 16, until Game Week 15, you need to use your transfers, because it doesn't really matter if you're going to roll 5 free transfers and you're going to get stuck with them, because you're just going to lose them. So yeah, the main idea: use all your free transfers in Game Week 15, and then in Game Week 16, if you have some players who are going to go to African Cup of Nations, obviously this new rule is meant to help us manage this tournament, but not only, because we can have some other ideas with those free transfers. So yeah, these are the main ideas about this tournament. Now this is going to start in 21 December and is going to go until 18 January. So in terms of FPL, is going to be between Game Week 16 and Game Week 23. Now again, not all these people, not all these players are going to play in the final, for an example, of AFCON. Maybe are not going to be ready to play in Game Week 24, but yeah, you got the main idea. And also there are some players who maybe are going to play in Game Week 16, depending on how these national teams are going to accept. For an example, someone like Brian Mbeumo, Manchester United want to keep him until Game Week 17, but again, at the moment we don't know what's going to happen. The main idea is that all these players are going to be unavailable in FPL from Game Week 16 to Game Week 23. Now you don't want to use all those 5 free transfer in Game Week 16. Maybe you want, okay, so yeah, that's fair enough. But if you're going to have 5 players, for an example, maybe you have Marmoush, maybe you have Mohamed Salah, maybe you have Mbeumo, Njae, Ismail Assar, then yeah, you're going to need to sell them, obviously. But if you have just one, maybe 2 players are going to go to African Cup of Nations, you don't need to use, ideally, all these 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. Maybe use one, maybe use two. Probably that's what a lot of people are going to do, myself included, and you can just roll all of them after that. So yeah, this is a really helpful rule and is going to help you also in the future make some changes to your team. If you want to also make some I don't know, punts in Game Week 14, Game Week 15, and then you just want to get rid of them, yeah, you can use some free transfers in Game Week 16. If you want to buy some players who are going to go to AFCON, I would advise you to buy them as soon as possible, as fast as possible. Now why am I saying that? Is because obviously these players are going to go to AFCON, so you already have just few fixtures for them to play in, and then you're just going to get rid of them in game week 16. So I would advise you to buy them as fast as possible. Now, I don't think that you should panic. I don't think that you should not target these players just because they're going to go in game week 16. There are still some game weeks to be played, but definitely you need to buy them as fast as possible. I would say in game week 12, game week 13. From game week 14, I'm not sure if I would buy any of these players. But yeah, the last idea on these main topics is some players will come back early after the group stage if eliminated. So obviously there's going to be a group stage which is going to end in game week 20, game week 21. If those teams are going to be eliminated from the tournament, those players are going to get back in the Premier League. So yeah, some players from the next list you're going to see in the next part are going to came back before game week 23. But again, this is not really important because you're going to want to have none of them during this period. So let's just move to the next part and see who are the main players who are going to miss during AFCON. Alright guys, now moving forward, let's discuss and see who are the most important players who are going to miss possibly during between game week 16, game week 23 of Fantasy Premier League. And we're going to discuss also about the teams and also about the implication these players are going to have, because one thing we know for sure is that these players are going to miss, but another thing is maybe some other players from these teams who usually don't get a lot of minutes in those teams are going to become really nice differential in FPL. So we're going to try to discuss also about these little things. Now, ignore Dango Utara. Probably I should have put him in the later list from other players, but let's start with him. Not a lot of people, I suppose, have Dango Utara in their teams. If you have him, again, I would look to get rid of him at some point. I don't think that I would buy him at the moment because he's also not an 90-minute player who's reliable to play every game. So yeah, other implications again from players like Shade, Thiago, yeah, their minutes are just going to go up, but they are already good options in FPL. So yeah, we don't need to talk about Brentford at the moment. Let's start with Crystal Palace, because I suppose a lot of people are interested in Ismail Assar. It doesn't matter if you have him or if you want to buy him into your team. For what's worth, I think that he's still a good buy. As I said before, if you want to buy these players, I think that there are still good options during this period of time before they're going to go to African Cup of Nations. And a good example of that is Ismail Assar. They're going to play against Wolverhampton in game week 12. The fixtures are decent. So again, if you want to buy him, I think that I would buy him now in game week 12. I'm not sure if I would buy him in game week 13 because they're going to play against Manchester United. So yeah, if you want to buy Sar, probably this is one of the last opportunities for you to buy before he's going to go to African Cup of Nations. And other implication really doesn't have from Crystal Palace. Mateta is going to be on penalties. He's going to get more minutes. We don't really have a lot of good options in midfield from Crystal Palace. So yeah, maybe someone like Pino is going to get better minutes if you're interested in a big differential. And basically all their defenders are really good at the moment. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if Sarr is going to be in or out. Maybe that's going to make them a little worse team attacking wise, but again, they are decent anyway. Everton, someone like Unjae is going to miss, and I think that some people right from FPL community have him into their teams, myself included. And I think that if you're thinking about buying Unjae, I think that I would pass that opportunity. I think that the ship have sailed, and again, if you have him like me, there's no rush to sell him at the moment, although the fixtures coming up are not amazing until game week 16. So if you have the opportunity, if you have the luxury, I would just try to sell Unjae. And again, if you want to buy him, I don't think that I would buy him at the moment. The features are just not great. But yeah, if you have him, just keep him probably at the moment. Other implications here, obviously we know that NJ is on penalties, so when he's going to go to African Cup of Nations, another player from Everton is going to be on penalties. Now we don't know for sure who that player is going to be, but maybe someone like Grealish, maybe someone like Beto, although he's not playing every game. So yeah, someone like Grealish could become an interesting option around that period, maybe even someone like Gardner. But yeah, that's it for Everton. I think from Manchester United, probably this is the most interesting topic here, because a lot of people are looking to buy someone like Brian Mbeumo in their teams, and for good reasons. He is just amazing at the moment, and probably he's one of the best, if not the best midfielder to buy from Manchester United. The same as for Ismail Assar. If you want to buy Mbeumo, I think that I would buy him as soon as possible. I would not panic too much about African Cup of Nations because you could miss on a lot of points, right? If you're just going to avoid these players, and some of them you should avoid, but some of them like Ismail Assar and Belmo, I think that it is fine to buy them if you have obviously the opportunity, if you have the free transfers to do that. The fixtures for Manchester United are really good, and also regarding Mbeumo, Manchester United, as I said before, requested stay until game week 17 or something like that to play. So there is a possibility he's going to go a little bit more late to the African Cup of Nations, but we need to see what's going to happen. At the moment, we don't know for sure. So yeah, I think that he's a good buy this game week, in game week 13 maybe. From game week 14 onwards, I'm not sure how many players I'm going to buy who are going to go to African Cup of Nations, because yeah, you're just going to have really few fixtures to play them. So yeah, also Amad Diallo is going to miss during this tournament. Going to Manchester City, Ainuri, Marmoush. Again, not a lot of people probably are interested in them as FPL options. Not a lot of people have Ainuri, not a lot of people have Marmoush. Obviously, both of them were injured, so yeah, they are just back for Manchester City. They are going to go to African Cup of Nations. This doesn't have a lot of implication because, as I said before, not a lot of people have them, I suppose, in their teams. But as I said before, we're going to have one less headache in terms of midfielders from Manchester City and in terms of defenders. So, for an example, someone like O'Reilly at the moment could be a rotation risk with someone like Ainuri, someone like Vardiol, someone like Ake. All these defenders from Manchester City could play as a left back. And again, when Aidnuri is going to go to African Cup of Nations, maybe someone like O'Reilly could be a really nice option. And in terms of midfielders, again, Manchester City still have a lot of midfielders and they still are going to rotate. They are Manchester City. It is about Pep Guardiola, but still, without Marmoush, we're going to have less rotation overall. So yeah, that's a good thing if you're looking to invest in Manchester City. And from Liverpool, obviously, maybe the biggest absence here in the Premier League is going to be Mohamed Salah, but it is a shame, or maybe not. Mohamed Salah at the moment is in not a lot of teams. Not a lot of people are going to go for Mohamed Salah, despite the amazing fixture run for Liverpool, starting from game week 12 onwards. But again, if you want to buy Mohamed Salah, if you're on a wild card, that's a totally different discussion. On a wild card, I would go for someone like Mbeumo. I would go probably for someone like Sar. And if you want to go super differential, yeah, I would go on a wild card for someone like Mohamed Salah. Or even if you want to just buy him with free transfers, maybe you have 5 free transfers, then yeah, I think that is going to be probably the biggest differential. And I think that it's going to be worth it to buy him before the tournament, but only if you think that he's going to deliver. At the moment, he's just not delivering. He's just not up to it. He's just not looking like 50% of how good he was last year. So yeah, I don't think that a lot of people have him. It would have been really interesting if both of Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland would be banging goals, because that would give us a more harder decision regarding which way we're going to go. Are we going to sell Haaland to buy Mohamed Salah? Are we going to do other things? At the moment, nobody's going to sell Erling Haaland to buy Mohamed Salah. So yeah, let's be real here. But yeah, also about Liverpool, he's going to go. So another player is going to play in that right wing spot. But again, a lot of players could play there. Someone like Frimpong could play there. Someone like again, even someone like Vitz could play there. Someone like Gakpo maybe. So they have a lot of options. They could play with both Ekitike and Alexander Isak up top. But the main idea is that one spot is going to be free for Liverpool. So if you're looking to, I don't know, if someone like Ekitike is going to get injured, someone like Alexander Isak became a really nice option, obviously. And probably I would say Alexander Isak is going to be on penalties if Mohamed Salah is going to be out. But again, that's we need to see if that's going to happen. So just take a look at how this is going to impact Liverpool. Let's see how Liverpool are going to perform after that and until that. And yeah, then we can make some suggestions. Maybe someone like Gakpo is going to become an option at that point. But yeah, there's a long way to go till that. Other players are going to miss Olaina from Nottingham Forest. I don't think that these players are going to be that interesting for you because not a lot of people have them. Someone like Diouf, someone like Wan-Bissaka, if you still have them, you're going to get rid of them as soon as possible. Someone like Agbadu, Lee Foster from Burnley, Wissa from Newcastle. Voldemort minutes are going to get better during this period, that's for sure, if Wissa is going to go to African Cup of Nations. So yeah, he's going to get better minutes, maybe also on penalties if Gordon is going to be out. Iwobi from Fulham is going to be out. Reinildo, Adingra from Sunderland, Pape Sarr from Spurs, Mazraoui from Manchester United, and Gesand from Aston Villa. But again, at the moment, I just don't think that you're going to be looking to buy any of these players, honestly. So yeah, the main idea from this video, from this whole list, again, you need to make a strategy. What are you going to do? When are you going to use your free hit in game week 13, game week 15? Again, let's talk a little bit about the free hit, because if you're going to use your free hit in game week 15, in game week 16, obviously you're going to have 5 free transfers. So you need to be sure what you want to do before this tournament is going to start. Make sure you don't have too many players who are going to go to African Cup of Nations. That would be my advice, because I would advise you to try to not use all of these 5 free transfers in game week 16. That would be the best idea, because you want to have more flexibility also after that's going to happen. So again, if you have players like Njae, you can still keep them. If you want to buy someone like Mbeumo and Ismail Assar, I think that these are great options. But other than that, I think that's it, and I think that I've covered a lot of things regarding African Cup of Nations. So yeah, please let me know if you have any more questions and also more opinions. Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this long. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye. Bag gura lor, când mă întreabă oamenii de unde sunt, le zic de